Listen, every day you wake up, you've been handed something priceless. Time. The crazy part. You can't save it, you can't pause it, you can't get a refund for the days you wasted. You either use it or you lose it. So if you're gonna breathe, if you're gonna take up space on this planet, make it count every single day. I'm telling you, there are people out here moving like they've got forever, like the clock ain't ticking. You don't have forever. Every day is a down payment on your dreams. Every morning is a new opportunity to push, to grind, to grow. The question is, what are you doing with it? Stop waiting for the right moment. And stop telling yourself, for one day, you only get it this day. And if you're not giving it everything you've got, you're robbing yourself. You're robbing your future self for the life you could have had. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to know everything, but you've got to show up with intention, show up with hunger, show up like this is the last shot you'll ever get, because one day it will be. So today, not tomorrow, not next week, today you make that call. You send that email, you put in those extra reps. You study that extra hour. You have that hard conversation. You get uncomfortable because comfort is where dreams go to die. At the end of your life, you won't regret the mistakes you made while trying. You'll regret the moments you let slip away because you were too tired, too scared, or too distracted to show up. Don't let that be your story. From the second you wake up until your head hits the pillow, make it count every single day. You don't get it yet. You think money is the most valuable thing you have. You think it's your talent. You think it's your connections, your opportunity, your possessions. But I'm telling you, the most valuable thing you own, the thing that separates winners from everybody else, is time. And the truth that most people can't handle is that you don't know how much of it you got. That's what makes it priceless. Let's break this down. Every single morning, without you even asking for it, the clock starts ticking. You wake up and the moment your eyes open, the timer is running. You might get 24 hours today. You might get 24 minutes. You don't know. And because you don't know, every second matters. But the problem, most people treat time like it's an infinite supply. They spend hours on things that give them nothing back. They treat minutes like pennies, tossing them away, losing them in the couch cushions of life, not even caring where they go. But when you understand the value of time, when you really get it deep in your bones, you stop living like you've got a million tomorrows. You start living like this is the only shot you've got. Listen to me. Money can be lost and earned back. Friendships can be broken and rebuilt. You can lose a job and get another one. You can fail and try again. But time, once it's gone, it's gone. There's no refund policy. You can't go to the counter and say, hey, I wasted the last 5 years of my life on Netflix and comfort food. Can I get those back? No, the answer will always be no. And here's what's wild. The people who succeed in this world, they don't have more time than you. They've got the same 24 hours you got. They've got the same ticking clock, the same limited supply. The difference is they spend it with purpose. They wake up knowing where their hours are going before the day even starts. They protect their minutes like a lion protects its cubs. They don't let anyone, and I mean anyone, waste them. But you think you got time to waste? You think that opportunity is going to be there next year. You think your health is going to hold up forever. You think your kids are always going to be young. Your parents are always going to be alive. Your friends are always going to be around. And then one day you look up and realize the chance you had is gone. The window closed. The people moved on. The moments you thought you'd always have are memories now, and you can't get them back. So how do you spend your time with purpose? It starts with clarity. You've got to know what matters to you, not to your friends, not to your boss, not to social media, to you. You got to wake up every morning and say, this is what I'm chasing. This is what I'm building. This is what I'm giving my life to. Because if you don't decide, life will decide for you. And I promise you, life will happily fill your schedule with distractions, obligations, and nonsense that will keep you busy, but never move you forward. Here's the hard part. When you start protecting your time, people won't understand. They'll call you selfish. They'll say you've changed, and they're right. You have changed. You stopped living for everybody else's priorities and started living for your own purpose. You stopped letting people borrow your time with no intention of giving anything back. You stopped handing out hours like free samples at the grocery store. And yes, it's going to hurt sometime. Because protecting your time means saying no, even the things you like. It means leaving parties early to get rest for the grind tomorrow. It means skipping the game night because you're studying for the certification that's going to change your career. It means turning off the TV and reading a book that's going to teach you what you need to know. People will tell you, oh, you're missing out. No, you're not missing out. They are. They're missing out on discipline. They're missing out on progress. They're missing out on seeing what it feels like to invest every second into something that actually matters. Think about this. Every day you waste an hour, you're not just losing an hour today. You're losing the compounding effect of that hour over the year. That's an hour you could have spent working on your health, which would have added years to your life. That's an hour you could have spent learning a skill, which would have opened doors for you in the future. That's an hour you could have spent strengthening a relationship that might be the most important one you'll ever have. The scary thing, you won't even feel the loss right away. Wasting time doesn't hurt today. It hurts years from now when you're looking at what could have been. It hurts when you're sitting there thinking, if I had started 5 years ago, I'd be in a completely different place right now. You have to flip the way you think about time. Stop asking, what can I do tomorrow? And start asking, what can I do right now? Stop waiting for when things slow down, because they won't. Stop thinking you'll get serious later. Later is a graveyard where your dreams go to die. If you want to win, you've got to treat your time like a millionaire treats their money. Every minute is an investment. Every hour is an asset. You don't just spend it. You put it somewhere it can grow. You put it into your craft, into your health, into your relationships, into your faith, into your growth. You put it where it's going to give you a return, not where it's going to disappear without a trace. And here's the best part. When you start living with purpose, when you start treating time like the treasure it is, your life changes faster than you think. Suddenly, you're not just busy. You're productive. You're not just doing stuff. You're building something. We're building something. You're not just existing, you're living. And people will notice. They'll ask how you're making progress so fast. They'll think you've got some secret shortcut, but there's no shortcut. You've just stopped wasting what they're still throwing away. So here's what I need you to understand. The clock is running right now. While you're reading this, minutes are passing. This moment will never come back again. You can't rewind it. You can't pause it. You can't get it back. The only question is, are you using it or are you losing it? Don't just let time happen to you. Take control of it. Be intentional with it every day. Wake up with a plan. Every day, decide what matters most and go after it with everything you've got. And when you lay down at night, I want you to know you spent your time today in a way that honored your purpose. Because if you can do that day after day, you're not just living, you're building a life you can be proud of. And when that final day comes, whenever it comes, you'll know you didn't waste your most valuable resource. You'll know you squeezed every drop out of every day. You'll know you made it count. And that's the only way to win. Every single day you wake up, you're standing in front of your dream. It's right there. The business you want to start, the degree you want to earn, the body you want to build, the family you want to provide for, the legacy you want to leave. But here's the reality. Your dream is not free. It's not something you can wish for. It's not something you can pray for and then sit back and expect it to show up at your doorstep like an Amazon delivery. Your dream calls, and the price isn't paid in dollars, it's paid in days. Every day you're alive, you're either making a down payment toward that dream or you're falling deeper into debt against it. And the truth is, most people don't even realize the bill is coming due. They walk around acting like the dream they want is just going to fall out of the sky because they believe in it hard enough. Belief without work is just a fantasy. Belief without discipline is just a wish. The only way to pay for your dream is with consistent daily deposits of time, energy, and sacrifice. Think about it. You can't buy a house by putting $1 down. You can't buy a car by throwing a penny at the dealer. No, you got to keep showing up with payments until the balance is clear. Upward them your way. Your dreams work the same way. Every hour you grind, every early morning you wake up, every late night you push through, every sacrifice you make when other people are chilling. That's another down payment. That's another brick in the foundation. That's another notch closer to the life you say you wanted. But here's where people mess up. They think they can skip days. They think if they work hard once in a while, if they go all out for a week, they've earned the right to coast for the next 3. No, that's not how this works. You can't put one payment down and then walk away and expect the keys. The bank doesn't work like that. And neither does life. If you miss enough payments, guess what? You get foreclosed, your dream gets repossessed, and the sick part, somebody else who was willing to pay the price will be living in the house you wanted, driving the car you dreamed about, walking in the life you could have had. So the question is, what are you depositing today? Because every day counts. You don't get to roll over your missed deposit into tomorrow. Can't tell life I'll work twice as hard next week to make up for it. No, that day is gone. That opportunity is lost. That deposit is missing from your account forever. And the more you miss, the farther away your dream drifts. You gotta wake up every day understanding this. The dream you want isn't waiting for a lump sum payment at the end. It's asking for installments every single day. And the size of the payment, it's not measured in money. It's measured in effort. It's measured in sweat. It's measured in sweat. It's measured in discipline. It's measured in how bad you want it when nobody's watching. Some of you talk about your dream like it's a hobby. You say you want it, but your actions don't match your words. You can't say you want to be successful and then sleep through half the morning. You can't say you want to be in shape and then eat whatever you want whenever you want. You can't say you want to own a business and then spend every night scrolling on your phone. Your dream is keeping receipts. It knows what you've been paying. It knows when you've been late. It knows when you skipped. And one day you're going to wake up and realize you're either close to owning it or you've lost it completely. Let me make it plain. You're not entitled to your dream. You're not owed success just because you want it. And wanting it is not enough. People out here want to be millionaires. People out here want to be fit. People out here want to be great. But the difference between the ones who make it and the ones who don't isn't desire. It's the deposits. It's the daily grind, the consistency, the commitment when it's boring, when it's hard, when it hurts, when nobody claps for you, when nobody believes in you. That's the cost. And here's the truth most people run from. The dream you're chasing will always require more from you than you think. You'll look at the price tag and think, well, that's too much. You'll see the hours, the sacrifice, the failures, the setbacks, and you'll say, I can't afford that. But the people who win, they're the ones who look at that same price tag and say, I found a way to pay it. Every single day, I put something down until this thing is mine. You got to treat every day like it's a transaction. If you waste today, if you sit around scrolling, gossiping, making excuses, then congratulations, overdrafted your dream account. You just went deeper into debt. But if you get up, if you push, if you grind, if you stay disciplined, then you made a deposit. You got one step closer. You added equity to your future. And don't get it twisted. These deposits don't just build your dream. They build you. Every day you pay, you're not just buying the life you want. You're becoming the person who can handle it. Because let's be real. Some of you couldn't handle the dream if it showed up tomorrow. You don't have the discipline. You don't have the patience. You don't have the resilience yet. That's why the daily grind matters. It's shaping you into the version of yourself that can actually keep the blessing when it finally arrives. This is why people who hit the lottery go broke. They skip the daily payments. They got the reward without the grind, so they didn't have the discipline to keep it. But you don't want fast money, fast fame, fast success. You want it earned, you want it built, you want to know that every single thing you've got, you paid for with your blood, your sweat, your sacrifice. That way, when you get it, nobody can take it from you. So hear me, every day you get is another chance to pay. Don't waste it. Don't miss the installment. Don't think you can skip today and it won't matter. It matters. Every day matters. Every day matters. Because your dream is standing there waiting for the final payment, waiting for the moment you've invested enough to claim it. And on that day, when you finally hold it in your hands, you'll know it wasn't luck. It wasn't a gift. It wasn't an accident. It was the result of every single day you chose to make the deposit. So the next time you wake up and you feel tired, the next time you want to skip, the next time you think one day doesn't matter, I want you to picture your dream like a house you've been paying on for years. And I want you to ask yourself, are you really going to lose it all because you got lazy one day? Are you really going to let somebody else move in because you couldn't make the payment? No, you're not. You're not. you're going to pay, you're going to show up, you're going to grind. You're going to keep making those deposits until the balance is zero. And when that day comes, when you walk through the doors of the life you dreamed about, you'll know you earned every inch of it. You'll know that every single day counted. You'll know that the dream is yours because you paid in full. Too many of you are sitting around waiting for the stars to line up, waiting for the money to come in, waiting for the right season, waiting for permission, waiting for everything to be perfect before you move. And that's exactly why you're stuck. You've convinced yourself there's a magic moment when everything will make sense, when you'll have the courage, when you'll have the resources, when you'll have the support. But listen to me carefully. That moment is never coming. Perfection is a myth. There is no perfect time. There is only now. Right now. That's all you've got. That's the only moment that's guaranteed to you. And if you don't use it, if you keep waiting for some imaginary green light, life will pass you by. Your dream will pass you by. Your opportunities will pass you by. The graveyard is full of people who are waiting for the right time, waiting until things slow down, waiting until they have figured it all out. They waited themselves into nothingness. The truth is, the right moment is the one you create. Too many of you are sitting around waiting for life to hand you something on a silver platter. But let me ask you this. What if life is waiting on you? What if the reason you don't see doors opening is because you haven't taken the first step? What if you're standing in the same spot day after day saying, as soon as things get better, I'll move, but things don't get better because you haven't moved? You don't have to know everything before you start. You don't have to have the whole plan figured out. You don't need perfect conditions, perfect timing, or perfect resources. You need action. Action is the ingredient that turns a thought into reality. Action is the spark that ignites momentum. Action is what takes an idea out of your head and starts shaping into something you can actually touch, see, and live. Think about it. The phone you're holding, the car you're driving, the house you're sitting in. None of that came from someone waiting around for the right time. It came from somebody saying, let's try it now. Let's figure it out as we go. Let's move before it's comfortable. Progress has never belonged to the people who wait. It belongs to the people who leap. Here's the danger of waiting. Waiting creates excuses. The longer you wait, the more reasons you'll find not to move. It's too late in the year. I'll start fresh next month. I don't have the money yet. I don't have the support. But what if I fail? And the more you let those excuses pile up, the heavier they get until they bury your dream completely. Stop letting fear disguise itself as wisdom. That voice in your head telling you to wait, telling you it's not the right time. That's fear talking. It's not protecting you. It's paralyzing you. You think you're being cautious, but really you're just letting opportunities rot on the vine. You're standing there watching your own harvest die because you're too scared to pick it before it's ready. Let me tell you something. It will never feel ready. Starting a business will never feel ready. Writing that book will never feel ready. Going back to school will never feel ready. Walking into the gym for the first time will never feel ready. You'll always feel underprepared, underqualified, under-resourced. And that's okay because readiness doesn't come before you start. It comes after. The process itself prepares you. The act of doing builds the confidence, the skills, the strength you think you need ahead of time. You want to know what separates winners from everyone else? It's not talent. It's not luck. It's not time. It's not time. Winners act while everyone else is still thinking. Winners act while everyone else is still researching. Winners act while everyone else is still making excuses. They don't wait for the perfect moment. They move now and figure the rest out along the way. And guess what? Along the way. And guess what? They fail. They stumble. They make mistakes. But that's why they win, because failure is feedback. Every move, every mistake, every lesson gets them closer to their goal. While you're still waiting, they're collecting experience. While you're still waiting, they're building resilience. While you're still waiting, they're stacking small wins that eventually turn into victory. You got to shift your mindset. Stop thinking of action as something you do once everything is in place. Action is what puts everything in place. You don't get clarity by sitting on the couch. You get clarity by moving. You don't get confidence by waiting. You get confidence by trying, by failing, by learning, by trying again. Think about where you were a year ago. Think about the goals you had, the dreams you talked about. Now ask yourself, how much closer are you really? If the answer is a not much, I can almost guarantee it's because you've been waiting. You've been saying when things calm down or when the time down, when the timing's right, or when I feel ready, and here later still waiting. How much longer are you willing to wait? Another year? 5 years? Until your kids are grown? Until you retire? Until you retire? Until you're lying in a hospital bed wishing you had more time? That's the reality. Waiting steals your future. Waiting robs you of the life you could be living. So what do you do? Now, today, not tomorrow, not next week, not next year, today. Send an email, make the call, write the first page, go to the gym, sign up for the class. Take the small step that feels uncomfortable. Do it scared. Do it unprepared. Do it messy. Do it wrong if you have to, but do it. Because imperfect action beats perfect inaction every single time. Here's what I need you to hear. The clock is running whether you move or not. Time doesn't pause for your excuses. It doesn't stop because you're nervous. It doesn't wait because you're not ready. It doesn't wait because you're not ready. Every second you spend waiting is a second you'll never get back. And one day you'll look up and realize you're out of time. Don't let that be your story. Don't let fear write the last chapter of your life. Don't let procrastination bury your dream. You've got something inside you that the world needs, but the world can't use it if you never release it. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop waiting for someone to give you permission. Stop waiting for the right moment. The right moment is here. The right moment is here. The right moment is now. Move, act, lead. Do it today. And when you look back, you'll realize that the decision to start, messy, imperfect, unprepared, was the best decision you ever made. Because it wasn't about being ready. It was about being willing to act when others waited, willing to move when others froze, willing to chase the dream before the moment was perfect. That's what changes everything. That's what creates a life worth living. So hear me one last time. Stop waiting. Start now. This moment is all you've got. Make it count. Everybody out here wants to be perfect. Everybody's worried about making mistakes, about failing, about looking bad in front of people. And because of that, most folks never even get started. They're so obsessed with the idea of being flawless that they paralyze themselves before they even move. But let me tell you the truth. Perfection doesn't win. Consistency does. You don't need perfect. You need progress. You don't need to get it right every time. You need to show up every time. That's the real secret. See, people think success is about talent, about who's the smartest, the strongest, the most gifted. But when you actually study the people who make it, the ones who rise to the top, it's not perfection that gets them there. It's the grind. It's showing up day after day after day after day after day. It's doing the work even when they're tired, even when they're uninspired, even when nobody's watching. It's not about one perfect performance. It's about thousands of imperfect reps that build into something unstoppable. Think about it like this. If you go to the gym once and you give the perfect workout, form flawless, weights heavy, everything on point, but then you don't come back for 6 months, what happens? Nothing. You don't grow. Your body doesn't change. You stay the same. But if you show up 3 times a week, maybe you mess up the form sometime, maybe you don't feel your best, maybe you're not perfect, but you keep showing up. After a year, after 2 years, you're transformed. That's the power of consistency. Too many of you are chasing that one big perfect moment, the perfect business idea, the perfect job, the perfect opportunity. And you're missing the truth that greatness comes from stacking small, consistent actions over time. You think the world is going to crown you a champion because you showed up once and nailed it. No, the world crowns you when you prove you can show up again and again, long after the excitement fades, long after the applause stops, long after everybody else has quit. Perfection is a myth. You'll never have it all figured out. You'll never have the perfect timing, the perfect execution, the perfect circumstances. And if you wait for perfection, you'll waste your whole life waiting. But consistency is possible. You don't have to be perfect to show up. You don't have to know everything to take the next step. You don't have to have it all together to keep moving forward. You just have to be willing to keep going, even when it's messy, even when it's hard, even when it feels like you're not making progress. Let me break it down. You can't see the change day by day. Consistency is invisible in the moment. You can't always see the weight you're losing, the knowledge you're gaining, the skills you're sharpening. But give it time, give it months, give it years, and suddenly the results are undeniable. That's why so many people quit too soon. They don't see immediate results, so they think it's not working. They think because they're not perfect, it's not worth it. But what they don't understand is that the compounding power of consistency will always beat the occasional burst of perfection. I'd rather have someone who works on their craft for 1 hour every day than someone who spends 10 hours once a month trying to do it perfectly. Because the daily person is building habits, building discipline, building momentum. They're turning effort into a lifestyle. The monthly person, they're starting from scratch every time. Consistency builds momentum, and momentum is what carries you when motivation runs out. You think successful people are motivated every day? You think they wake up fired up 365 days a year? No, they wake up tired sometimes, doubtful sometimes, frustrated sometimes, but they don't wait for motivation. They lean on consistency. They lean on discipline. They lean on discipline. They lean on the habits they built. That's why they win. And here's the kicker. People respect consistency more than perfection. Think about the people you admire. It's not just because they were great once. It's because they kept being great. It's because you could count on them to deliver, to show up, to keep pushing. Nobody cares if you're perfect once. People care if you're reliable, if you're steady, if you're someone who can be counted on day in and day out. Consistency is also how you silence doubt. Some of you are scared because you don't feel good enough, because you don't think you have what it takes. And I get it. But you don't build confidence by waiting to feel ready. You build it by being consistent. Every day you show up, every day you keep the promise you made to yourself, every day you do the work. That's another piece of proof you give yourself that you are capable. And one day you look back and realize you stacked so much evidence that you can't help but believe in yourself. Stop obsessing over being perfect. Stop waiting for the flawless moment. Stop thinking you have to know it all before you begin. Start now. Do it messy. Do it scared. Do it unpolished. But do it every single day, because consistency will make up for what perfection never could. Let me tell you something. Consistency turns ordinary into extraordinary. It takes people who nobody thought would make it and turns them into legends, because it's not about talent. Talent fades. It's not about luck. Luck runs out. It's not about perfection. Perfection is impossible. It's about who can stay in the game the longest, who can keep showing up when it's boring, when it's hard, when it hurts. That's who wins. And here's the final truth. Your life right now is the sum of your consistencies. Whatever you've been doing day after day, that's who you are. That's the shape of your body, the balance in your bank account, the state of your relationship, the level of your knowledge. Your life is proof of what you've been consistent about. If you don't like where you are, don't chase perfection. Change your consistency. Start building new patterns. Start stacking new habits. Start showing up in a new way every single day. One day of greatness won't change your life. Oh, 1 week of focus won't change your life. 1 month of discipline won't change your life. But a year, 2 years, 5 years, consistency will change everything. That's the key. That's the formula. That's the truth most people overlook because they're too busy chasing the fantasy of perfection. So I need you to hear me clearly. Stop waiting to be perfect. Start being consistent, because consistency will take you further than perfection ever could. Consistency will build you into the person who wins, not once, but over and over again. Consistency is the difference between talking about your dream and actually living it. Show up every day, no matter what. Because in the end, it's not the perfect people who win. It's the consistent ones. Everybody wants to grow. Everybody wants to level up, to be stronger, smarter, richer, healthier, better. But let me hit you with the truth most people don't want to hear. You can't grow where it's comfortable. Comfort is the enemy of growth. Comfort feels good, but it kills your potential. Comfort whispers in your ear, stay here, you're fine, while your dreams are out there starving because you refuse to move. The reason so many of you are stuck right now isn't because you're not talented. It isn't because you're not smart enough. It isn't because the opportunity isn't there. It's because you're too comfortable. You built a nice little box for yourself, And instead of breaking out, you decorated it. You painted the walls, got the couch just right, made sure the temperature's perfect, and now you call that life. But deep down, you know it's not life, it's a KJ. And the worst part, you locked yourself in. Comfort is dangerous because it doesn't scream. It doesn't hit you over the head. It lulls you. It whispers. It convinces you that average is acceptable, that good enough is good enough. Comfort makes you believe that as long as you're not suffering, you're winning. But the truth, comfort is the slow death of ambition. It's the silent killer of dreams. Because while you're sitting cozy, somebody else is out there grinding in discomfort, pushing through pain, stretching themselves, and they're passing you by. You can't grow in comfort because growth is about stretching. Think about your muscles. The only way they grow is when they're pushed past their current limit. You tear the fibers, you break them down, and then they rebuild stronger. That process is not comfortable. It burns, it hurts, it demands sacrifice. But without that pain, without that discomfort, there's no growth. Your dreams work the same way. If you're not willing to put yourself in situations that stretch you, that challenge you, that scare you, you'll never grow into the person capable of living the life you want. Some of you have been in the same spot for years, not because you can't move, but because you refuse to leave comfort. You're still at that job you hate because it's comfortable. You're still hanging with the same people who don't push you because it's comfortable. You'll still live in the same routine, watching the same shows, wasting the same hours because it's comfortable. And then you look around and wonder why your life looks the same year after year. It's simple. Nothing changes in comfort. Discomfort is where the magic happens. Discomfort is where you discover what you're really made of. Discomfort forces you to grow. When you put yourself in a situation where you don't know everything, where you feel underqualified, where you're scared, that's when you learn. That's when you unlock new levels of yourself. That's when you grow into the kind of person who can handle success. You say you want to be successful, but success isn't comfortable. Success asks you to wake up earlier than you want. Success asks you to stay up later than you planned. Success asks you to sacrifice things you enjoy right now for a future you can't even see yet. Success asks you to step into rooms where you feel out of place, to take risks that make your stomach turn, to endure criticism, to fail publicly. None of that is comfortable, but all of it is necessary. The truth is, the life you want is on the other side of your comfort zone, and the only way to get there is to walk through discomfort. There's no shortcut. There's no hack. There's no easy path. You got to be willing to feel the heat, to face the fear, to embrace the awkwardness. You've got to choose discomfort on purpose over and over again, because that's where the growth lives. Stop running from discomfort. Start chasing it. Stop avoiding the things that scare you. Start leaning into them. Every time you do something uncomfortable, speak up when you're shy, work out when you're tired, study when you rather relax, apply for that job you don't feel ready for. You grow, you expand, you step closer to your potential. Comfort is seductive, makes you feel safe. But safe doesn't change the world. Safe doesn't build legacies. Safe doesn't create history. The people you admire, the ones you look up to, they didn't play it safe. They stepped into discomfort. They risked embarrassment, failure, rejection. They faced the pain of growth because they understood that comfort could never take them where they wanted to go. And let's be real, discomfort doesn't last forever. The first time you do something new is terrifying. The second time is still uncomfortable. But keep doing it, and eventually what once scared you becomes second nature. That's growth. That's evolution. That's leveling up. What used to stretch you becomes easy, and then you seek the next discomfort, the next challenge, the next level. That's how you keep moving forward. But if you stay in comfort, you stay stuck. The world will move forward without you. Time will pass, opportunities will disappear, and you'll still be sitting there, comfortable but unfulfilled. That's the trade. Comfort now, regret later, or discomfort now, growth later. Which one are you going to choose? Here's the crazy part. The pain of discomfort is temporary, but the pain of regret lasts forever. You can push through the discomfort of waking up early, of putting in the work, of taking a risk, and it will pass. But if you choose comfort, if you play it safe, if you never step out, then one day you'll be looking back on your life wishing you had, and that regret will eat you alive. So the choice is simple. Either you keep chasing comfort and stay the same, or you embrace discomfort and grow into who you were meant to be. You can't have both. Comfort and growth don't live in the same space. So I need you to make a decision right now. Decide that you're done being comfortable. Decide that you're done settling. Decide that you're willing to walk into the discomfort because you know that's where the growth is. Wake up earlier. Take on the challenge. Speak when your voice shakes. Go where you don't feel ready. Push yourself past your limits. Get uncomfortable on purpose. Because every time you do, you get closer to the life you're supposed to live. Remember this, comfort might give you a good today, but discomfort will give you a great tomorrow. And at the end of your life, you don't want to look back and say, I was comfortable. You want to look back and say, I grew, I stretched, I became everything I was capable of becoming. So hear me, comfort is the enemy, growth is the goal. And the only way to win is to step into the fire, embrace the challenge, and live in the discomfort until you've grown into the person you were born to be. One day you're going to look back on your life. You'll sit there in the quiet and you'll replay the choices you made, the chances you took, the risk you embraced, and the opportunities you let slip through your fingers. And when that day comes, it won't be the mistakes that haunt you. It won't be the times you fell short, the times you stumbled, the times you embarrassed yourself. No, the thing that will tear you up inside is the moments you didn't move, the dreams you left on the shelf, the words you never spoke, the chances you never took. Regret doesn't come from trying and failing. Regret comes from never trying at all. See, mistakes are part of life. Mistakes teach you, mistakes shape you, mistakes give you wisdom you couldn't get any other way. But inaction gives you nothing. It leaves you empty. It leaves you empty. It leaves you with questions that never get answered. What if I had tried? What if I had pushed? What if I had stepped out? Those questions echo forever. And that echo, that silence where there should have been experience, that's what regret really is. Too many of you are sitting still because you're afraid to fail. You're afraid to make a mistake, afraid to look foolish, afraid to fall flat on your face. But let me ask you something. What's worse? Failing in the attempt or living the rest of your life wondering what could have happened if you had tried? At least failure gives you a story. At least failure gives you growth. At least failure gives you scars that prove you live. Inaction gives you nothing but emptiness. The people who win in life aren't the ones who never mess up. They're the ones who weren't afraid to mess up. They're the ones who kept moving even when they didn't have all the answers. They're the ones who acted when everybody else froze. They didn't wait for permission. They didn't wait for certainty. They moved. And yes, they failed sometimes. But every failure taught them something, prepared them for the next step, brought them closer to the breakthrough. You think playing is safe, is protecting you? You think by not trying, you're keeping yourself from failure, keeping yourself from pain. But safety is an illusion. You're not protecting yourself. You're robbing yourself. You're stealing your own future. You're trading the possibility of greatness for the guarantee of regret. Because here's the truth. You're not avoiding pain by staying still. You're just choosing a different kind of pain. The slow, lifelong ache of regret. And regret cuts deeper than failure ever could. Failure hurts for a moment, but regret hurts forever. Failure stings in the short term, but regret poisons the long term. You can recover from failure. You can learn from failure. You can rise stronger from failure. But regret is a prison with no exit because you can't go back. You can't redo the chances you never took. Once they're gone, they're gone. Think about it. Have you ever looked back at something and said, oh man, I regret trying? Probably not. Even if it didn't work out, even if it didn't work out, even if it fell apart, even if it hurt, you don't regret the attempt because the attempt gave you something. But how many times have you said, I should have spoken up. I should have taken that chance. I should have gone for it when I had the shot. That's the language of regret. And that's the language I don't want you speaking when it's all said and done. You gotta stop living scared of mistakes. Don't define you. Inaction does. Mistakes don't close doors. Inaction does. Mistakes aren't permanent. They're lessons. Inaction is permanent because it means you never even stepped up to the line. You didn't give yourself a chance. You forfeited the game before it even started. And I get it. Moving is scary. Acting without certainty is uncomfortable. Putting yourself out there feels risky, but you got to reframe the way you think about risk. The real risk isn't in trying and failing. The real risk is in not trying at all. Because when you try, you either succeed or you learn. When you don't try, you get nothing. You stay stuck. You stay the same. You trade possibility for stagnation. The graveyard is the richest place on earth. It's full of ideas that were never launched. books that were never written, songs that were never sung, businesses that were never started, inventions that were never built. Not because people weren't capable, not because they weren't talented, but because they didn't act. They let fear freeze them. They let doubt chain them. They let time slip through their fingers until it was too late. Don't let that be your story. Don't let your dreams die inside you because you were too scared to move. Don't let the people you were meant to impact never hear your voice because you stayed silent. Don't let the legacy you could have built vanish because you chose comfort over courage. When it's all said and done, I want you to have a list of mistakes, of attempts, of risks you took. Not a list of what he said that haunt you until your last breath. You need to understand the pain of failure is temporary, but the pain of regret lasts forever. The embarrassment of falling fades. The sting of rejection fades. The bruise from stumbling fades. But regret doesn't fade. Regret grows. It grows heavier as time passes. It grows sharper as opportunities slip away. It grows louder as your window closes. That's the real enemy. Not failure, not mistakes, regret. So what do? You move. You act. You stop hesitating. You stop overthinking. You stop waiting for guarantees. You leap. You risk. You try. And if you fail, so what? At least you know. At least you learn. At least you learn. At least you live. That's better than sitting in silence wondering forever. Look, life isn't a rehearsal. You don't get to do this again. You get one shot, one chance to live, to build, to create, to love, to push, to chase what matters. And every day you sit in fear, every day you choose inaction is a day you'll never get back. One less day to chase the dream. One less day to make the impact. One less day to live the life you were designed for. You got to start asking yourself, when I look back, will I regret trying and failing, or will I regret not trying at all? Because you already know the answer. Nobody ever says, I regret going for it. But millions of people die whispering, I wish I had. Don't let that be you. Don't let regret write your story. Stop waiting. Stop hesitating. Stop letting fear run your life. Act now. Take the step. Make the move. Chase the dream. Do it messy. Do it scared. Do it uncertain. Do it unprepared. But do it because mistakes are survivable. Failure is survivable. Regret is not. And when the end comes, when your time is up, when you're looking back on the story of your life, I want you to smile, not because you were perfect, not because you never failed, but because you know you gave it everything. You acted. You try, you live without leaving anything behind. That's the way to win. That's the way to live without regret.